Okay, here we are again. Keith's Mike are clashing again. You have a great style of clothes.
I tell you what, it's buy one get one free season around here.
Yeah, but mine is maroon. Yours more burgundy, I think.
Yeah. Well, what can we say?
Okay, football. We had good predictions. 100%, of course. Again, 9 weeks in a row. 100% predictions.
When you're good, you're good. Chris Sutton, are you taking notes?
So let's go again. This one, new week.
A new game week. I mean, games are coming thick and fast. You must be sick of seeing us on the old YouTube at this stage.
Never.
Anyway, let's kick straight on. Saturday games.
Yeah, first, no 12 o'clock kickoffs.
No early match.
We have got the 3 o'clock Bournemouth against Leicester.
Bournemouth against Leicester. Now, Bournemouth drew their last game. Leicester, I think, are the main story. They had a great, much-needed victory, and not only that, but a very impressive victory against Forest.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for momentum. I think that, winning's a good habit. I think the better players are with Leicester.
Yeah.
I predict they'll follow it up and get another victory on the road this time.
An away win. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting that only 5 teams have scored more goals than Leicester, and 14. So they have no problems in putting the ball in the net. Their problem is in the defence. They've conceded 22. But I do agree, yes, the win against Forest will give them with something that they need, because they have a good team.
Yeah.
Just they seem to be in kind of like...
I suppose the soul got ripped out of it with, you can't underestimate Schmeichel going as well.
Yeah.
That was a kind of, even, I know some Leicester fans will say he wasn't that great. But the personality of him would have really lent to the team.
High standards.
The defence needed his voice.
Sure. Yeah. So it's going to take a while to adjust. Bournemouth unbeaten in 4, but no goal in 3 home games.
That's the problem where they get the goals.
I do see Bournemouth scoring, because I think Leicester's defence is not going to improve overnight.
No.
But I do agree. I think maybe Leicester win. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Leicester win on this one.
Okay, very good. So the second game on the 9 o'clocks, or the 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday, I should say, is Chelsea are at home to Wolves.
Yeah.
What do you think? Foregone conclusion?
Chelsea were lucky in the last game against Palace, to that late winner. Also, what I was impressed was their performance against Milan in the Champions League, at home as well. Because I wasn't sure, Potter's first European game away to Milan or home to Milan, how would they get on? But they were very impressive, showed very good control. I mean, Wolves just can't score, can't win. They've also let go of their manager.
Their managerless, coming into the game.
They brought in Costa, and he made a difference when he came on. But 34 years old, it's a lot to expect him to carry them on his own. I think we can't see anything other than a Chelsea win on this one.
I would agree, even though I know, when you play midweek games, there's always a kickback that weekend.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea, with the squad that they have and where Wolves are, I can see nothing but a home victory.
Yeah, I mean, Wolves do seem to have a good record against Chelsea recently. They're unbeaten the last 4. But, I agree. I think Chelsea win all the way on this one. Okay. That brings us on to, I think, City and Southampton.
Do we need to talk much about this?
I guess not.
All I want to say in advance is, Ralph, I actually thought you weren't a bad manager, and I wish you well in your next appointment, because I think after this you're going to be bye-bye.
Yeah, well, I think it'd be unfair, to dismiss them purely on the City game.
But I think it's going to happen anyway.
Yeah. I think it would be a bad idea if they do let him go, because I do think he is a good coach doing with what he has. Southampton lost to Everton 2-1 in the last game.
That was a bad one at home.
But they were very unlucky. I think they deserved a draw at least. I think Everton got away with that one. Southampton put in a good performance.
I mean, that's the thing. And Palace, we'll come to them later. You can say unlucky only about so many times. And in the end, you got to say reality. And the reality is Southampton are where they are.
Yeah. I guess it's just a number of how many goals City are going to score, and will Haaland score a third home hat-trick in a row? That's where the money is going to be on. Not if he's going to score, is he going to score a hat-trick?
Yeah,
and you wouldn't bet against him.
You can't bet against him. They took him off at half-time wisely, even though he was going for another hat-trick there. So keep there's no need to overly rotate that squad. They rested Foden, De Bruyne didn't play. It shows you how good they are.
Yeah.
And they know they're that good. It's only at the knockout stages they'll be suddenly saying, well, we'll focus on the European games.
Yes.
Now, both competitions are Mickey Mouse for them.
Yeah.
Their training sessions are probably harder.
It reminds me now, City against teams reminds me of likes of Arsenal back in 2004, like Perez, Henry, where any team lower than down outside the top four, they just they had the game won before they went on the field.
Yeah, Liverpool were like that too in the
flat track
80s.
bullies kind of thing, Yeah.
Yeah, you'd say we used to joke that the second best team were the Liverpool B team in the league,
Sure.
And I think City are there now. I think that their B team would definitely be in the top four.
An interesting stat as well is City's top scorer last season was Kevin De Bruyne with 15 goals all season. So far already after 9 games, Haaland has got 14. What a difference, that to them last year. They struggled. They made hard work of it last year.
Well, you look at and that's where they lost, say against Real Madrid. All the chances they created in that first leg, it should have been a non-event in Madrid.
Yeah.
But they couldn't put the ball in the net, and then they conceded unusual goals from a City point of view.
The only thing is, he is human, Haaland, right? And the pressure, he's setting such high standards.
I know,
right?
yeah. Now people saying it's a foregone conclusion. He's going to score. It's never a foregone conclusion.
So he can't win in that situation. Then
if he doesn't score a hat trick, people will say, he didn't play that well.
Yeah, exactly. So that he's human. Over time, how is this going to affect people? Pressure, a lot of pressure on a young man there.
Yeah.
Okay, so
we're moving on. Oh yeah, it was City winning and comfortable. Newcastle against Brentford. We always say that breaks happen and teams that are on an upward curve don't like international breaks. I'm going to put Brentford in one of them, and I think Newcastle is the exact opposite. They had a much needed morale boosting victory.
Away to Fulham 4-1.
Absolutely solid, really hammered them, and I think that'll kickstart again Newcastle on a purple patch.
Yeah.
They're at home. I expect them to follow it up. Brentford had a dour draw against, I think it was Bournemouth.
That's right, 0-0, yeah.
And I think that Brentford were up on the high. The break came at the wrong time for them. I see a Newcastle victory here.
Yeah,
2-0, maybe even 3-0.
Yeah, Brentford concede. I think they've before they draw against Bournemouth, they had 19 away games out of clean sheet. So they do concede a lot on the road, and I think Newcastle will score in this one. I agree with you. Also, Newcastle hard to beat. They've only lost one of their last 14 home games. They're very solid in defence.
Absolutely.
So I think that they will kind of. They were very stale before last weekend. I think that maybe the break has done them good.
Yeah.
I see them going on as well to win this one. I think 2-1. Maybe Brentford will score with Tony up front. 2-1 to Newcastle.
Okay, 2-0, 3-0, I think. Anyway, so here we go. Brighton versus Tottenham. That's going to be a tricky one to call.
Yes, Brighton, I thought, were very unlucky in the Liverpool game. Having played so well, to come away with a draw, I think that they would be kind of maybe disappointed about that. Tottenham, lost their unbeaten run last week to Arsenal. Didn't look so good. Also didn't look great in the 0-0 draw with Frankfurt, even though it was an away, I think, result. I fancy Brighton to win this one. I think that Tottenham are a little bit shaky. We've spoken before about a relationship between Conte and the club. It's not really sticking there, Also, he had some fans, complaining about, he should bring in some other players in full-back positions, questioning his decisions. Something's not right there. Brighton unbeaten in the last 7 home games. I think the momentum is with Brighton. I think that they will maybe give a 2-1 win against Tottenham on this one, because Tottenham, I just feel, are not quite at it at the moment.
Okay, I kind of have to just slightly disagree with you on this one. While I think that, again, Spurs play in midweek, you have that tiredness factor come into it as well.
Yeah.
I still think Brighton, we'll have to see new manager coming in. You had that bounce. They did really well against Liverpool, but you got to look at Liverpool's defence there. They got a 2-0 victory before Liverpool even realised the game had started. And again, slightly disagree. That they were lucky in the end to get that to draw. From 2-0 up, they'd be disappointed, but they came, and they came back. Well done, your man got a hat trick. He won't get many hat tricks this season. He won't be a Haaland scoring 4 hat tricks or 5 hat tricks. I think this could be a draw, simply because of the Spurs' fatigue from playing midweek. But I think Brighton, we have to see where they'll be with the new manager.
Okay,
and this will be the first test of their thing.
If he's wise, he won't change much because they've been really well doing so.
No,
let's see.
I'm going for a draw.
I think an interesting game. Looking forward to seeing that one.
No. So Sunday's matches, we've got 4 games on Sunday. Let's go quickly onto them. Bournemouth at home. No, that's
Palace,
the wrong one. It's Palace against Leeds.
Palace Leeds, yeah. I thought Palace were unlucky against Chelsea to lose. I was surprised that Leeds were so, didn't have that energy we thought against Villa. That we thought that they would overpower Villa. Looked a little bit. Maybe the break again hasn't really worked for them. I just think that Palace are a dangerous team at home, hard to beat. I'm kind of go with that one. There isn't much between these two teams, but I just think the home Palace are tough to beat at home. In the last 10 games, they've only lost 2, 1-4, drawn 4.
They've had so many hard look stories. It's a bit like it's time to get. They need a victory. They need a win.
It's true. Yeah. One thing about Leeds is the number of cards they're picking up. Lots of yellow cards, red cards. Comes from the manager. He's very like.
And we've given a lot of praise to him. But I give out to him about, you know what, he needs to look after his own. After the draw, he was complaining about Villa's tactics. Do you know what? You've got to look after your own. And it's a compliment. At the start of the game, Villa were time wasting. Were playing kind of defensive football. But they wanted to suck the atmosphere out of Elland Road, you're the away team.
Yeah.
And that's a compliment to your team.
Yeah.
And instead of coming out and using that as the excuse, we don't like to play football that way. Focus on what you did. Get on with it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's just my opinion on that.
Sure. Okay. So who's going to win?
I think Palace will win. I think they need to win. And I think they'll get us.
Okay, good. All right.
Okay, we've got London Derby, West Ham, Fulham.
Yes. West Ham started off very slowly, but they've actually won 4 of their last 5 games,
they are
including
momentum,
the Europa League. Bowen is kind of back scoring. He scored they beat Wolves, important game for them to win last week. Fulham surprised. I mean, they lost 4-1 to Newcastle. The sending off, of course, had a huge impact on that game, I think. But West Ham played midweek in the Europa League, so it's very hard for them to then, because their squad doesn't change very much.
It doesn't change. They don't have that
squad.
Numbers.
I think I'm going to go with a draw on this one. I think West Ham will be happy for a draw.
I think they wouldn't mind a draw to consolidate what they've done, but I do think momentum is there. And I say Fulham, they were on a high. They were doing better than a lot of people expected. The international break came, and there's a little bit of a readjustment. Maybe Mitrovic, he started well, had his purple patch, and now when he doesn't score, they're going to struggle. And he might, he's been in the Premier League before. I'm not saying it could change. He could score a hat-trick on Sunday. But I'm going to go for a West Ham victory here.
Okay.
I think they know they need the points. They know they're not in the position they should be in, and they'll get us.
Yeah.
Okay.
These two teams have the oldest average starting age between them. So I think, again, with the midweek game, it's not going to suit West Ham. If anyone's going to win this one, I think it's going to be Fulham.
Okay.
I'm going to go for a draw, but Fulham will have more chance to win than West Ham. I don't see West Ham winning.
Okay, we've got one of the big six, as we'd call them, are meeting each other. The league leaders, Arsenal against Liverpool.
Yeah, I guess there's only one winner. There can only be one winner in this game, really, and that's Arsenal. If ever Arsenal have a chance to beat Liverpool in the last 10 years, this is going to be it. Okay, Liverpool, I think that they have shown that there are some deficiencies in their defence and their link play together. Things are not as strong as they were 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Absolutely.
Arsenal were really good against Tottenham. Traditionally, though, Liverpool love playing Arsenal because they are able to like United. When United beat Arsenal, they just wait for the trap and then they go and they attack them. Because Arsenal I think Arsenal's worst enemy will be themselves in this one. personal mistakes, losing the ball high up. I'm going to go with Arsenal to win 3-1, 3-2 on this one. I think that
Okay, there'd be a big statement if they do that.
I do think so. I think this is the one for them to show that they mean business this year.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's like since Klopp has come in, I was just double checking. He's only lost one league game against Arsenal since he's been manager. In 2015, he came in, so that's quite a long time. One Arsenal win, and a Liverpool person, a supporter, might have said that's 3 points for Liverpool because, as you said, the way Arsenal play is just perfect for Liverpool's gegenpressing
They go out. Yeah, they don't sit back. Yeah.
Style of play, and the errors come in and the goals come from that. But obviously, Liverpool are having a major transition this year. The older and aging team are showing creaks that have come surprisingly quickly. I'm going to predict a draw, because I still think Arsenal will come forward and play the style of play because they did it against Man United. They don't seem to have option B in terms of they don't play any other way. Liverpool would win, except they're not playing well enough. The likes of Saka and Minelli will get opportunities with our full-backs playing the way they are. So I'm going for a high-scoring draw, a very entertaining, maybe 2-2 draw.
Okay. All right.
Okay, let's move on. We're Everton.
Game?
No, we have one more. Everton at home to Man United. I'll start this one off.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to go quickly. A draw. I think that Everton's momentum. They got lucky, as you say, in their last match, but they got the win.
Yeah.
And they're at home. Man United played midweek. They got a win there as well, but again, there's fatigue playing on Thursday and then turning around playing again. I think deep down both managers would probably be happy with a draw. United, after the humiliating and bringing them back to earth from City, no team is going to do that to them like the way City did. But I think Everton at home, they'll do enough to get a draw.
Okay. Yeah, I also think Everton are going to win this one. Again, I think that just more cracks are coming in the Man United team. This is going to be another nail in their coffin, I think. Everton unbeaten in the last 6. They have the best defence in the league. I really like what Frank Lampard has done in bringing in players. We've spoken about this before. There seems to be a good balance in their team. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. I think there won't be many goals in this one. I could see Everton maybe just winning it, maybe 1-0.
Okay, and the last game then is Forest at home against Villa.
I missed that one.
That's the Monday night game, and it's Forest at home. I will just jump on. I'll say, look, Forest are in big trouble. I think Cooper could be gone again. Another person could be gone very soon. I feel sorry for him. They brought in so many players. It takes time for that to gel.
Sure.
I've rarely seen it work for teams. I've seen Fulham a couple of years ago bought so many players and they went straight down.
Dressing room. You've got so many individuals, so many cliques in the dressing room. It's very hard to develop like a team spirit.
It's like, and they had the team.
So who's going to win?
I'm going to go for a draw because, again, Villa away from home, like they got the draw against Leeds by playing the dour football.
It's dour. Dour is the word for Villa at the moment.
Yeah, and okay, hard to beat, hard to score goals against. They're the positives. The minus is you need to put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
And Villa are struggling to do that too. So I'm going to go for a draw. I think Forest would take it because they've just had so many bad defeats now, and by multiple goals.
What was it? Bournemouth had their big moment against Forest, when we thought Bournemouth were going to go down. But they came back. And this is going to be like this moment, I think, this week is that moment for Forest as well. It's like they really have to get it. So I think that they will play for their manager in this one.
Yeah, well, they have to get a win.
But I'm going to go for a draw. I think it's maybe 1-1.
So we'll go draw. Okay, guys, well, we kind of went a bit longer this time, so it's worth it.
Yeah.
And I have the final notes.
Final note, I guess we just finished with a word from our sponsors, and we'll see you all next time.